This is Halloween. I can't. What am I trying to sing? Hello everybody. Today I am doing the Halloween song book tags. It's a new tag and the creator is A Beautiful Chaos of Books and I was actually tagged in it. She must know my seasonal heart so very well. So thank you for tagging me. I feel honored. Tag takes a whole bunch of, you know, different Halloween kind of spooky songs and puts a question to them. And as I say, I love tags and seasonal tags, so let's dive right on it. I will put music in there, but copyright. Oh, also for this tag, I'm gonna try to keep it all kind of thriller, spooky type of reads because why not throw another challenge on top of another one? Yeah, I'm gonna do it. First up, we have Thriller, a classic Halloween song, and that is a book that was an absolute page turner. For this, I'm gonna go with Sawkill Girls by Claire Legrand. Who's surprised? I talk about this book so much. It's one of my favorite books I read last year, and it's a highly underrated book. Nobody talks about it on BookTube, but I'm like, why? But then sometimes I hear there's people that either love this book or really despise it, but I fall in the love it camp. It's about this island where girls go missing. We have 3 girls that try to figure out things, and it's very monstrous and paranormal. I loved it so much. Have Somebody's Watching Me, a book that gave you the serious creeps. For that, I will always pick the book You. I lent it out to a friend because I like that book so much. But You by Carolyn Kepnes. But this book, I love it. I still need to read the sequel. I should probably get around to that. But You is basically following a perspective and you read it from the perspective of Joe, a stalker. He meets a girl named Beck and he invades her life. He figures out where she lives, who her friends are. He gets really involved and puts himself into her life in some way. So it's very creepy. I always, whenever I think of the creepiest book possible, I always think of You. Especially the audiobook. The audiobook, if you listen to it, because it's like, I'm watching you, you're doing this, and it's like, this isn't creepy at all. It's very creepy. 3 is just Vampire, my favorite. A book that you hated so much that it was soul-sucking, i.e. incredibly tedious to get through. For this one, I'm picking 2. For this one, I'm going to give you 2 adult thrillers I really did enjoy. The first one being The Woman in the Window by A.G. Finn. A lot of people love this thriller. It's one of my least favorite thrillers I've ever read, I'm being honest. I just found it so boring. I didn't enjoy it really at all. I just didn't, but a lot of people love it, so take my word with a grain of salt. Also, The 7 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle by Stuart Torton, I believe. This one I was so excited to read because it sounded like Clue, and I love Clue. The movie Clue is just phenomenal.
Was it one of her clients? Or was it a jealous wife? Or an adulterous doctor?
I haven't watched it, you need to. Like Tim Curry's everything in it, but the book was just very tedious to get through. Like, I enjoyed it. It was an okay read, but it's a book that you have to truly pay attention to every single little detail, because in that book, it's you are a different character like each chapter, and you have till like midnight to figure out who killed Evelyn Hardcastle. Otherwise, you're going to wake up in a different body the next day. It sounds very intriguing, and definitely was, but it got too tedious to figure out exactly what was happening. There was all these rules and different times, and it was just like, I got overwhelmed so much. So those 2 were very tedious and very hard to get through. Next up is I Put a Spell on You. Hocus Pocus for the win always. A book featuring witchcraft or magic. For this one, I'm going to go with the recent read, Wayward Son by Rainbow Rowell. This is not overly spooky at all, but it does have magic in it, so I thought, and it has vampires in it, so I thought I would include it. This is the sequel to Carry On, so I guess I would recommend Carry On. Carry On is basically kind of a parody of Harry Potter, where we have Simon Snow, who's the chosen one, and then we have Baz, his roommate, who's a vampire. They hate each other, or do they? It's really fun. I enjoyed it. I did not like Wayward Son as much as Carry On. I don't think I'm alone in that opinion, but overall, it's got the very witchy, magical vibes for sure. Next up is This Is Halloween, The Nightmare Before Christmas, which, by the way, you're either in the camp of that's a Halloween movie or a Christmas movie. For me, it always seems like a Halloween movie. You'll have to let me know. Do you think it's a Christmas movie or Halloween, or could it be both? Your favorite treat / snack to eat while reading. So since we're keeping this Halloween themed, my favorite Halloween candy is Kit Kats. I could devour some Kit Kats. So yeah, I could see myself eating a crap load of Kit Kats while reading. Also, caramel corn. Probably eat a lot of that. I could probably eat any candy, if I'm honest with you. Probably not candy corn though. Next up is Time Warp, the Rocky Horror Picture Show. What books do you like to return to this time of year? So for me, Harry Potter's the big one. I always think of Harry Potter as the perfect fall to like kind of winter read, and then you go into summer and it ends, the book ends. So I always love reading those audiobook wise. I think I'm going to start it in January, so I'm a little bit behind on that because I need to reread it or re-listen to it. But I always feel like I want to return to Harry Potter the most in the fall. As far as other books, just spooky reads in general, I always go to in October. Those are just my favorite genres to read. I save up all my spooky reads, and then somehow I'm always surprised that I have 25 books on my October TBR, which is really feasible. It's not, so I don't know what I'm thinking, but there you go. I love this one, Hungry Like the Wolf. I wouldn't classify that as a Halloween song, but I like it. A book you loved so much you devoured. Go with The Wicked Deep by Shay Earnshaw. I love this book. A lot of people love this book. I just love it. It's about witches, like witches inhabiting bodies, vengeance. I just think it's a really good, creepy, atmospheric read that I always will recommend. The Addams Family. I would snap, but I really... That's all I can do for it. A book featuring a dysfunctional family. This one I'm going to go with My Lovely Wife by Samantha Downing. So I picked this one for the dysfunctional family because it's about this married couple that's been married for a while. They have 2 teenage kids and they're kind of getting complacent with suburban life, so they decide, hey, let's murder someone. If that's not a dysfunctional family, I don't know what is. Next up we have Scary Monsters and Super Creeps. A book genre you are scared or intimidated to pick up, and that will always and forever be horror. I don't think I'll ever be strong or willing enough to read horror, but a girl can dream. I mean, like, I can do some creepy and spooky, but when it gets to like really the creepy, I just can't do it. Can't do Stephen King, can't do horror. That's where I have to draw a line for myself. And the last question is The Twilight Zone. A book with a completely different and unique premise. So that's hard to say. I feel like a lot of spooky books, like I feel like I've read some books that kind of have the same elements in them. So with My Plain Jane by Cynthia Hand, Brody Ashton, and Jody Meadows. I say this is unique original because this book we follow the character Jane Eyre of the classic Jane Eyre. Jane Eyre is friends with Charlotte Bronte. That's right, Charlotte Bronte, the person that wrote Jane Eyre, is in this book. And they are at this kind of like school for girls, like it's not a really good school. Jane can also see ghosts, and so Charlotte Bronte is writing her book. What do you know? And somehow it's about ghosts and Jane and things like that. I think it's just unique because I read books that's, you know, taken a classic book and twisted it, you know, different ways and things like that. But I've never read a book that has done that, but also put the author as a character in the book. So I think that's very unique and, you know, very different. So that was the Halloween song book tag. I keep wanting to do this, like I'm Sophia Nygaard and like overly spooky all the time. I'm not. I wish I was. But either way, I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope you're enjoying your October month and all the Halloween vibes there are. If you want to check out this tag, I will leave the link down below, as well as all the questions and things like that. I hope you guys have a spooktacular day. I'll keep doing this, even though I said I wouldn't. I lied. But yeah, I'll see you guys later. Bye.